Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by BlackRifleCoffee.com.
Clapton, what's up?
Shit.
Hello.
That was a strong
It's a late night at the Black Rifle Coffee office. We've got Graham Allen here. We have Baker. We have Evan Hafer. I've got nicotine gum and a shot of whiskey in my blood, and I'm feeling good.
Ooh, yes, you are.
Really good.
I love you on nicotine gum, by the way.
Yeah.
You know,
It's impressive.
nothing says like better behavior like additives that are uppers. So
Yeah, who taught you that?
Cheers.
Who taught you how to do that?
I'm blaming Aubrey Marcus because I never consumed nicotine whatsoever. And then we went on his podcast, and he's like, "Well, if you chew it, it's not bad at all for you." And I was like, "Well, Aubrey said it, so it must be true." And here I am.
But
and
Matt,
I steal Evan's gum.
Let's clarify that, because Matt doesn't like sit there and smack on it for 30 minutes at a time. He chews it for like 5 minutes at a time, takes it out, and then
Gets
puts
the
it back
taste
in.
out.
And I do want to reference this. I do not steal Evan's gum in the metaphorical sense.
No.
I steal it in the literal sense of it actually being gum. So all of you fucking assholes out there, I steal Jared's piece of gum, not Evan's.
That's right.
Did
Because if you were stealing my gum, metaphorically, you'd be stealing my wife.
Right.
So-
And then
Yeah.
I'd probably have a couple bullet holes in my chest. So.
Yeah. Speaking of stealing wives, you know Aubrey Marcus is in an open relationship. Did you guys talk about that?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, he
We
talks
talked
about it in the podcast.
Yeah.
I think guys like that are open and honest and transparent about their way of living life are fucking epic. I think too often people create constructs that are fake in their social lives and don't live those things. And I think it's awesome when people put it out there and just own what they do. So I'm all about it.
Yeah.
But in that same stance, I would never be in an open relationship with my wife. If
There
a
you
dude touches
go.
her, I'm killing
There
everybody.
it comes.
So
There it comes.
There's the jealous little
Disclaimer.
fucker.
Disclaimer, real quick.
My
Let me
wife did
that
get a
out.
dick pic. If no, I'm not going to put that out there. I'll fucking kill anybody. I'll block you, and I will beat your. I will fly to your house and beat your fucking face.
Was
in.
it a DM or was it a number? Dude, you could ruin someone's world if someone ever actually sent your wife like a text message.
No, even a DM. Like I have friends in good places, so I could do my research
I'm
and
saying
make
you
them
could
pay.
put like this person is like a predator like photo out and just ruin
No,
their
like if
world.
they were accosting her, I mean, it would probably be 3 to 4 months that their kneecaps would be broken by a baseball bat in some weird street alley, and I'd be like, "That sucks, dude. Never knew the correlation."
But especially
between
you
those
just
things."
got training from Instructor Earl on how to deal with a pederast.
Dude, fuck! I am the new
Instructor
operator now.
Earl.
After
Yeah.
Instructor Earl, dude, like there's no other. That's all you need in life.
No.
How's
you
that
don't need
better
anything
ass?
else.
Get back!
I'm framing that picture of you in the Instructor Earl get up, and I'm going to put it in my office somewhere.
I think we talked about in the office, maybe on the podcast, but how people were making fun of legs because I took a picture with Derek White like 4 years ago, and the perspective made me look like I have small legs. I've been very proud of my leg gains because I don't skip leg day other than my injuries.
You
and
don't. That's true.
And finally, me in a fucking dressed as a transvestite in a dress was the thing where people were like,
You look good.
"Man, your legs look great,
You
bro."
look
I'm like,
really
"That's what
good."
did it? All right, cool. I guess I'll be
Well,
in
that's
drag
because
more."
you have such long femurs.
That's why women wear heels because it really makes it
Accents it?
Yeah, it does.
Pops the
Maybe
calves and
that's a
quads.
new thing for you. You could just start wearing heels, and your legs will be look
For
way
such a
bigger.
handsome
Is
dude,
there-
you are an ugly ass woman, man.
Thank you, Baker. Is that a thing where like you're straight but then you dress in drag?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I have
Yeah.
stories.
Really?
Oh,
I got a
God.
story.
Here we go.
So there was a group in Birmingham, Alabama. The guy's daughter went to the University of Georgia with me. They were known as the Magnificent Seven. Very, very successful, like architects, doctors, and whatnot. It was 7 dudes. And like once a month, they would all meet in a city outside of the South, dressed up in full fucking drag, shaking their moneymakers, and would just go around and drag.
Wow.
Why? What's the
I
what's the reward?
never talked to any of them, but there's people that are into that, man.
Yeah, and what's a moneymaker? Is that your pussy or is that something else?
It's your ass or your
Yeah.
breast, whatever you got, whatever makes the money for you.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh.
Well,
Well, they're architects.
Then it's my
and they're
asshole.
shaking their-
Yeah, but architects are weirdos. Architects in general are totally weird people.
I feel
man.
like that's a very general statement, Baker.
I stand behind it.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
should-
absolutely.
Yeah, those
Architect of better
architects
opinion.
don't measure up. Oh, God.
Rossi.
Feeling it.
Got it.
Strike
That was
force.
powerful.
Feeling it.
Graham
So
Allen, welcome.
Yeah, what the fuck's new in Graham's life, man?
Yeah.
What's going on, brother?
Oh, hi guys. No. I'm first of all, the new facility right here is super cool. I
Digging
found
our
out.
community college?
I found out it used to be a community college, so that's really awesome. Actually, I had never went to college, so this is my first time in here. So, no, things are crazy. Things are all over the place. The TV show started since the last time we talked. Rant Nation.
Yeah, how's that doing,
CRTV.
by the way? I saw a post of yours online where some people went after you, and you were like, "Hey guys, fuck off." I'm trying to make a little cash for my family.
Yeah, so it was the first time that that I ever, I guess, asked somebody to support me, monetarily, I guess, because they have to pay for something. So there was the initial group of folks that were like, "Oh my God, you're the worst person ever." But then it died off, and it actually, I will say that I was super afraid because, we are changing things up a little bit. Anybody that's followed the page for a long time can see that there is an obvious maturity starting to happen with the videos. I'm not just randomly screaming, all the time in a truck anymore. But it's been very positive. We did more reach last month than I keep saying I have done more reach in the last month.
It's very selfless of you. It's the team. It makes the dream
it
work.
sounds like I'm referring to like this, we are Legion, we are this. But anyway, we had a very successful month, and things have really started coming full circle. And now, I got invited back to hang out with the Black Rifle guys, so it was cool.
You feel like you were never invited. You're always invited,
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's that kind of like, oh, here's Brian kind of thing sometimes, and
it's from the podcast?
No. Oh, you mean on the podcast?
Fuck Brian. That little forward financing fucking fag.
Brad.
And not even like I'm not talking gay, like a fag. Like, you suck. Like, you're gay. No one cares. Just don't be a fag about it. Like, that's Brad. He's over there with his stupid little wife writing fucking 9% APR on my loan. I'm like, fuck you. Run my credit, bitch. I'm fucking fiscally conservative.
Don't run mine. Don't do it.
Fuck you, Brad. Fuck you, Brad.
It's not a good place right now.
And then my wife got an accident, so I have to go back to Brad. Fuck.
Oh, boy. That's terrible. What if Brad was the one who sent the dick pic?
Ooh. Shit.
Plot twist.
Thickens, dude.
Speaking of, does that
It's
happen
like
a lot?
the Fifth Element right now.
Does that happen a lot? Like, do people send Matt Best's wife inappropriate things?
No,
often?
and I don't even want to talk about it because someone will get an idea.
Yeah, no, we'll get an idea.
No. Not too often. I think people know who she's married to. Where
Well,
I'm a action guy. Where like it's not cool to me to do something like that. I would
Yeah,
never.
but,
Send
well, even
someone's
not
chick.
being an action guy.
No, not like in like former action, like a fag, former action guy. I'm talking like just
No.
I'm a man of action.
No.
Yeah.
I know that's what I'm saying. Well, even if you weren't as awesome as you were in hurting people, I think it's good that people realize that you're a married guy. She's a married.
But I think it's
gal.
more
She's like the world's biggest sweetheart. It's not like she's some
No,
man.
no,
she's like the
very
world's
nice.
biggest sweetheart.
Matt, I think it's more of a testament to her because, like, if you look at her, like, she's a classy broad. And
You married
doesn't-
up, that's for
doesn't-
sure.
She
You
doesn't
definitely
like look
married
like
up.
a gal that would like.
She's short,
listen,
kind of married down.
no,
but yes, in the sense of, yeah.
Oh,
I don't mean it that way. I'm just making a fucking joke. Yes,
Yeah.
she's rad. Well, I don't know why we just gotten like a wife kick, but sure.
yeah. Well,
your wife's here.
my
She
wife
looks
is
pretty
here.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, no. Alyssa is very cool. She's probably hating life that we're talking. Oh no, she's good. Okay,
She got Chuck
fantastic.
Taylor's on, got the
Yeah,
Black Rifle
yeah.
tank top,
Look at
rocking
that.
it.
Yeah.
How long you guys been
Kapow.
married,
Look at
Graham?
that.
So April 2nd will be 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I barely make 10 months with girls.
she's put up with me for a long time, and I will tell you something that needs to be said. Having the discussion, sweetheart, I think I'm going to leave active duty. Okay, babe, what do you want to do? Oh, I'm going to make videos screaming in my truck for a living. I think that's a good idea. To give up insurance and all this other kind of stuff. It takes a special kind of lady that will actually not leave you for such a thing like that. And so, no, I think it turned out pretty well.
I have like the world's worst podcast, and my wife still stays with me. So I totally understand that statement where you're like, okay, you put up with my shit. I'm pretty fucking fortunate here. Like, I'm pretty
real
stoked.
fortunate. Yeah. So, no, it's
And
good.
speaking of wives, holy shit, Jesse is ready to pop, Ross.
I know. We almost had the baby yesterday. We had
So what
Almost
happened?
had the
Was
baby.
she like dilate? Not to, well, I don't know what the terms are. I've never had kids. Dilating or
thought she was having
contracting.
contractions. Yeah, so we went in, and it turns out it was cramps. And there's a new thing called inducing labor. Do you want us to induce labor? And I was like, what the fuck is that? And they were like, well, we have ways around it and things we can put in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude, it's fantastic. You can get coffee, and you know when it's going to happen and everything.
That's what I would do, I think.
That's what we did, all three.
Like, I really want my
Really?
baby at 3:06
Yeah.
p.m.
So I've got a great story from my wife. So my wife she didn't take any pain medication whatsoever through both her childbirth, or both of the births of our children, however you say that. So she was actually tiling the kitchen the morning she went into labor. So she's laying tile on the walls of the kitchen, and she's having contractions. And I go to work in the morning. I'm like, "Are you good?" She's like, "Yeah, I'll be good. I've got a few more hours. I know about when it's coming." And I'm like, "Okay, good." So I go to work. I do an interview. And I come back probably at 11 o'clock, and she is like absolutely in so much pain.
She's not all right. She's not good.
No, but she's laying down on the floor, going into contractions, and then she'd get back up and put another tile.
I can get
it. I just want to finish. I just want to finish this before we go.
The baby needs a tiled bathroom.
And
not sure if the baby's gonna know.
She finished the kitchen before we left, and it was like 5 hours, and we were back in the house.
What Evan doesn't realize is he subconsciously just did the most ultimate man thing ever. The moment that you asked your wife, "Are you okay?" and she responded with, "Yeah," that was probably a good clue. Maybe
you're good. You said you're good.
Yeah, you said you're good. You said you said it. Don't get mad at me.
I did have to go in, and I'm like, I think we should go. And she's like, "Fuck you, get away from me. We're not leaving until the kitchen's done." I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna be over
but
here."
But that's Evan. That's why they get along.
Yeah,
because Evan was like getting ready to go into surgery for his appendix, and he's taking fucking calls. He's like, "Can you hold off on that surgery for another 8 minutes because I kind of need to finish."
I am
this
a
call.
terrible pain tolerance person. Just being completely honest, I don't like it. I feel like there's certain things that I can tolerate. Obviously I have no problems with tattoos, but if you've got to draw my blood, I have a real big problem with it. I don't know what it is.
Blood's a more uncomfortable feeling. It's not necessarily pain because, needles don't really scare me, but getting blood taken, I will opt out every chance I get because I'm just not a fan. It's not the pain. It's like having a foreign object.
Doesn't bother me.
I see. There's people that it doesn't bother, and they're like, "Oh, you can just jab me however you want."
Doesn't bother me.
Really?
No.
Really? I will sit there and I'll ponder on it all day. I'll be like, at 12 o'clock, I gotta go get blood drawn.
I would sit there with privates and take my boots off and just let them go to fucking town.
Nope.
Be like, "Go for it, guys." And I would be walking them. I'd be walking them through.
God. If someone said I had to have privates stick my fucking extremities, or I need to go get in a gunfight with me versus 10 Taliban, I'm in the gunfight with 10 Taliban.
And
I'm like, "Fuck you, fuck this blood. Let's go kill some fucking bitches. I ain't getting my legs stuck."
They would look at me like, because nothing's worse than one of your privates going, "Okay, you're going to angle this. You've got to come in at a different angle. Okay, that is perpendicular to my arm. That's not going.
You missed it. Move it around.
You're stabbing in like."
And it was. They would look at me in totally a different light. They're like, "That fucking dude would take his shoes off," and I'd be like, "There you go, man. There's a foot. Fucking put an IV in. Let me see what you got."
That's why you and Matt are really tough.
I did not say I'm a part of that. I got stuck by 7 people once.
I want no part of it.
I was like the guinea pig for it, and it completely ruined it for me. I'm like, now, and then I had an E6 one time draw my blood, and I was like, "Hey, just get it fucking done." He sticks it in there, and he starts getting up and moving, and I was like, "Man, I think that needle's still in there." I look over, the needle, the syringe is still in my fucking blood, and I'm like, "You don't have positive control over that." And then when he came back, he lit. And then my arm from my bicep all the way to my wrist was all black and blue.
And then I would die. I would literally die.
Fucking asshole. Yeah. And so now I'm like, I've had such bad experiences. But every time I go to civilian nurse, and I'm going to, every time a female comes to stick me, I'm like, thank
God.
Because they're always gentle and they just get it in there.
I will. I will. To be completely honest, I will be that man that's in there and be like, "Look, dude, I'm sure you're very good at your job. There's got to be a lady somewhere, somewhere present,
female.
That's the way I am too. I only trust a woman with needles.
What is it? An esthetician? Esthetician? What is it, Dave?
Ooh,
an esthetician.
Okay, there we go.
And I don't understand. They have the little tiny needles that they can put in with. It has like a little butterfly on.
Yeah, the butterfly needle.
And then it has the tube that comes out. Mm-hmm. That's the one thing I'm like, why are you not using that all the time? Don't fucking put the big thing on that you have to change out.
Yeah,
like 4 or 5
looks like
times,
a rhino
and it
trank
fucking
dart.
Hurts. Yeah, and it's like, man, just put the other one on. You don't have to do anything. I'm like, why has not everybody gone to this?
Every service member that's listening to this is going, "Oh God, guys, stop!" Right now. It's just every bad CLS thing you can imagine.
Other
is
than
happening
probably
right
like
now.
the 18 Delta or the medic that's like, you guys are bitches.
Yeah.
I stuck my own femoral.
No.
And you're like, you're just fucking
Yeah.
We
crazy,
had that
bro.
guy. We had that dude.
Of
He's
course, you
like,
always have him.
I'll do it myself, and he ties himself off and all that stuff.
We had a
and
dude that was
no.
super into the fucking, I forget what they are, but it's the
Yeah, the
chest
thing that
press.
goes through the chest.
And when
No.
you evenly
Yeah.
press, it shoots into your sternum. And
Yeah.
he's like,
My wife's
he's like,
about to throw up over
stick
there in
me,
the corner.
stick me in the chest. And,
Yeah.
and one of the guys got fired, the medic, because they were
Yeah.
hammered and they gave a class on it. I'm like, and they had to get it surgically removed out of his sternum. I'm like, ugh.
What were those?
I walked into a room
Good.
at the 18 Delta course. One of my buddies, I was walking over there to go hang out and say hi, and he was sitting there drawing his own blood. He was drawing his own blood. And he was drinking beers, and then he would fill up the beer bottles, and he had probably six beer
man.
bottles. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he goes, I just want to see how many beers I have to drink with equal amounts blood until I start to get woozy. And I was like, okay, that's what you're doing tonight.
That sounds like
that's
it's
what you're
time
doing
to
tonight. I'm like,
leave.
all right, well, have fun, man.
That's some heavy shit.
That's
Yeah.
some Michael
Hey,
Myers
Dave,
stuff, man.
look up chest port
No,
multi-needle.
are we
That's the
really?
one I want to see.
no, it's
Because we'll find out what it
it's
is.
so cool. It is so fucking cool.
That might be...
That means it's gross. If they're saying it's so cool, that means it's
Or
absolutely gross.
no. Do sternum.
It's
Do
yeah, it's sternum
Do
IV.
sternum
Sternum
IV.
IV.
Oh God, Evan, what happened to those guys? By the way, did they black out that
Yes,
night?
there it is.
Yes, I've seen it.
guy?
I've
In
seen
IO,
it. It's
in IO.
terrible.
There it
It's
is.
god awful.
There it is. Look at that
Yeah,
thing.
that thing jams straight into your sternum. That is so fucking
What
cool.
is the purpose of it?
It's because you're so depleted as far as your blood that you can't actually get a positive line to pump fluid. So you stick it straight in the bone, and that's where you're pumping fluid.
Yeah.
Because
And that's on a-
casualties that are bleeding out. It's so hard
You're
to get
in
a
bad
line
shape
because
if
you're
you've
in
got to
real
use
bad
that.
shape.
Yeah, you're in real bad shape.
and that's spring loaded. So you have to press it into the sternum, and then it ejects the needles into it,
Can
and
we-
it blows the bone in.
There's got to be
It's
a different
amazing.
topic to talk about. I mean, there is really there all the stuff going on, and we're talking about this.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What would you like to talk
What
about?
were those?
man?
Well, now that what was those medics that like they all killed themselves because they direct lined like liquor or something in IV bags or something? That was a big thing when I was still in. They were telling that.
Did they
that
just? They
tale.
should have gone to Google and typed in science, and it says, "Don't put alcohol directly in your
Don't
blood."
yeah.
do that.
Kind of a no-go.
It was
Don't
vodka,
do that.
wasn't it?
IV.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I want to say that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
But
tale that
that's
went
one of
around.
those crazy things. It's like, what are you trying to accomplish? Just
They didn't love themselves.
chug a bottle of vodka. you
Yeah,
know?
they're,
But
yeah.
that's like the same like millennial thing where it's like let's soak a
Oh.
tampon and shove it in our ass. Like
Eat
you
a
get
Tide
so
Pod.
fast. I'm like I could take an extra 20 minutes
Yeah.
and not have to shove a
I can
fucking
try a
soaked
little
fucking
harder.
tampon in my
Yeah.
asshole.
Drink it. I think those are guys that just want an excuse to put something in their ass.
Yeah. Well, then take a shot of vodka and get pegged by your girlfriend. Like Jesus, man.
Yeah, we don't need any excuses around here. For
No,
No. I'm sitting on Evan's hand in my butt right now.
that. Yeah, right now.
Oh, we're on video. They know it's a lie.
Yeah,
Two fingers up there.
See,
I
you
got two
caught.
fingers, one for the mouth and one for the butt. So,
Graham Allen, I want to ask you,
up.
what are you ranting about today? What's really sticking in your craw these days?
Well, I'll tell you the big thing that happened last month is I got on a religious kick that I never meant to. It kind of just happened. I had some woman tell me that she claimed to be a Christian lady, tell me that she really liked what I was trying to do, but my tattoos made me look trashy, and because she was a Christian, she just couldn't bear to look at me. And so I don't know. At first, it didn't really bother me, and then the more and more I got to thinking about it, the more and more I got to thinking, isn't that the direct opposite of what people that claim to be Christians are supposed to do?
I know it's tattoos are taboo in the Jewish culture, but like that's kind of crazy, man.
Yeah. So it was nuts, and I made a video about it, and I really wasn't expecting it to do a whole lot. I was going to use it as an engagement filler to the 4th of July video I had scheduled the next day. Right, get because I wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it went nuts. Apparently, a lot of people don't like people talking bad about people with tattoos, I guess.
Right.
usually, it's after sex when people say they can't stand to look at me. But no, I think that's weird. I think that is such like a decade ago. If that person actually believes that and it was just conjuring something, I think that it's like tattoos are so prevalent now in modern day society that it's not specific to like a cultural movement where back in the day it was like gangs and all that. But I mean, like every military dude within reasons probably got some tattoos.
Well, that's how my grandparents view it. It is still to this day, if you weren't in the Navy and or had gone to prison, you shouldn't have tattoos. I mean, my grandparents still feel very much that way about it.
My mom was that way. Like when I first got tattooed, she was like, "Please, just not below the shirt line and never the hands or neck." Yeah. And then now she's just like, "Whatever, dude."
I think most people
like,
did
oh
that.
Oh my god, he can be successful and still have a couple hand tattoos.
I think most dudes, especially, did the first tattoo that that you could cover it up, just in case, just in case. And then as it goes down, you slowly just start moving further and further.
What was the first tattoo you got?
Oh,
and where, when? Like,
no, I got the barbed wire around my arm.
There you go.
That was the first one.
We'll call that the Pamela.
And I've been working on covering it up for a while. The only part you can still see is right there.
The Blake Shelton, we call that. The Blake Shelton.
I've still got to cover that up, but yeah.
Does Blake Shelton
I don't think you should cover it up.
Blake Shelton's got like this. It almost looks like deer droppings or something.
Around his
like on his
arm.
The hilarious part about that though is like that was the previous generation's cool guy tattoo, and that was the lower back tattoo. We are setting the precedence for what's fucking douchey in 20 years. Like, if I have kids or your kids when they grow up, be like, "Oh my god, Dad, you have a sleeve."
You have a sleeve. There it is. Doesn't it look like what is that?
Deer feet.
Deer feet.
It's deer track.
Oh,
is it really?
So sad.
Deer footprint.
It looks like.
He's from Oklahoma, man.
Yeah, deformed turtle.
That's a weird tattoo, though. He's got.
I would cover that up.
Did you see Ben Affleck's back tattoo?
Ben Affleck has a.
Oh my God! Pull this up. It will shock all of your minds. You will never believe this.
Is it real?
Yes.
Back or back?
You know far too much about
back.
Ben Affleck.
Oh, okay.
No, that's not real.
That is real, 100%, dude. I swear to God.
Shut the fuck up.
Yes,
it's a phoenix.
It's a phoenix.
Phoenix rising from the ashes, and
Affleck has a phoenix.
Wait, this is a great story. So he got caught in a like an on-set photo. He was trying to hide this from everyone, and then they took a picture. It got into the news, and then he said, "Oh, it's for a movie." Then 3 years later, he was on the beach, and somebody caught a long, zoom in lens or whatever the fuck it is. And it was his real tattoo, and he had to come out and say, "I did this."
I'm skeptical.
I am shocked by this.
So this is real. And then wait, so Jennifer Garner and Jennifer Lopez confirmed it, and they were like, "Hey." Jennifer Garner was pissed because she goes, "I hope I'm not the fucking ashes and you're the phoenix." And I was like, whoa.
Whoa. Sylvester Stallone has a lot of tattoos
on that
too,
shoulder
doesn't he?
piece, Dave. I want to see the shoulder piece that Ben Affleck
He's
has.
got shoulder pieces?
Down to the left on your mic.
It looks
right
like
there.
Ed Hardy. It wraps around to his ass. Go.
That's not him.
Yeah.
The shoulders here, Dave. The front shoulders, the front delts.
Yeah, the one with him in the water right there.
There it
there
is.
you go.
Huh.
Wow.
Didn't expect that.
Mind is
No one did.
completely blown.
No one
Everyone
did.
is Googling this right now. Everybody.
I'm going to get so much shit for this, but I had a matching tattoo with an individual, and I covered it up, and the bullet looks like a penis now. You can see it. It looks like a penis.
So is that the tattoo you regret the most then?
No, because the one under it I regret the most. So it's okay. It's whatever.
What about you? What about you, Evan? Do you have,
first?
No,
My first
no.
tattoo?
What do you have a tattoo that you regret that you got?
No.
No?
I mean, I have them that I don't think they're like great quality, but they all mean something. I've got one on the outside of my arm that was in Baghdad in one of Saddam's former palaces in like one of his bathrooms.
Okay.
And I was asking the guy to give me this specific design. Yeah, it was ink.
That's funny.
And but we were under a limited time. Like we
Right.
had to get this fucking thing done because I was flying out. I was going home. So it was in Saddam's bathroom, and then on the inside,
Shut the fuck up. Is that real?
Yeah, it's real.
That's
It was
awesome.
in one of his
That's a
palace
great story.
bathrooms.
That's a story, man. Like nobody can take that away. That's for sure.
And the other one is I had just gone through divorce and a bunch of other stuff, and it was a Japanese character from a play that represented war and a few other things. And I got that one in a former warlord's house in Afghanistan that we were staying in from another guy that's a very accomplished tattoo. So they all mean something, and regardless of how shitty I think they are. And I've got like a globe on the top here, which is from when I was in college. It was stupid.
Darker days.
Like, it was so stupid. I was like, yeah, man, this is great. And it was like this chick that I don't even think she knew how to draw. She's just like, man. And I'm like, this doesn't even look like the Earth. It doesn't look like any. It looks like kind of a Pangea aspect. You know, maybe the continents. Maybe the continents looked like
maybe
that.
Maybe she was a flat earther, dude. And she's like, I'm gonna fucking regret this.
And,
I have a Dakota Myers tattoo on me. That's his initials. He tattooed me.
Really?
Yeah, we were drunk in El Paso, Texas.
Oh, okay.
What was your first one? What was your first one?
I got my last name Best on my back left trap at the age of 16.
Really?
Yeah, it was a pretty funny story. My two brothers had it because they were 18 in the Marine Corps, and then they're like, I was like, I would get that, and they're like, I got a guy, so he called his Marine buddy who had a cousin, and he's smoking a huge J in his garage, and I'm like this skinny little Santa Barbara white boy.
Ooh,
like, what
I
the
bet
fuck
you
do I know
felt
about
it,
the word?
man.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a bad tattoo. But he's like, don't worry, dog. The fucking weed keeps my hand calm. And I was like, okay. And my brothers are laughing their ass off. I was like, oh, but hey, good memory.
Ross, do you have tattoos?
I do.
He
I
does.
do. The only one I regret is getting, you know, how everybody gets an Asian writing tattoo.
Yeah.
I have the words Asian writing on my ass. And I did it for a movie, and it's
50 can of call girl, right?
Yeah, yes. And it's in the movie and it's in the thing, but it's one of those things where if you get a tattoo on your ass, you forget about it because you never ever see it. So like, if I'm like, I live in a neighborhood with a pool and shit like that, and I was getting changed in a bathing suit, and there was a few dudes in there, like other dads, and they were looking over and they were like, yo, man, is that a tattoo on your ass? And I was like, oh, fuck. I always forget about it. And then they come over and they were like, what is it? What does that say? And I was like, and then they come in and it's like Asian writing. And I'm like, man, they're like, God damn it, you're hilarious. And I'm like, aren't I?
I feel like this is just
like
a
we
weird
should
intro
double
to
back
a gay porn.
I know.
How easy you just said, yeah, these other dads were looking at me while I was changing. You just completely bypassed that.
Well, if
somebody's
somebody's got the words Asian writing written on their ass, I would ask if somebody had that on them. I'm like, hey, man, what the fuck is that?
I'll give it to you.
But I feel like that's everybody with tattoos, because I consistently forget how many fucking tattoos I have where it's just part of me, and then you take your shirt off and people get scared. You're like, what the fuck? Oh, I look like a
your whole back's covered, right?
Yeah, I'm neck to I did that once. I was at a range. It was just me and one other dude, and we were training these Afghanis in the bumfuck Egypt. You know where that is. I won't say it, but I'm sitting there in snivel gear, and I was like, oh, I'm going to change out of this real quick. So I turned around, I was taking my shirt off, and then I realized I had a Christian Crusader cross and the giant in the back, and I was like, I probably should turn back around and hide that guy so I don't need an AK to the face.
Do you have a tattoo that people ask you about all the time?
It's so blended together now.
Yeah.
I did some for Rated Red, but now I think when you had like one or two, people would be like, oh, what does that mean? But this is just a good
That's a good point.
Let me ask you this, Matt. Do you ever have fans that have gotten tattoos because of you?
Oh. I mean, I think things that we've done over the years, there's a couple Lincoln's box seats tattoos. There's a lot of Forever Free tattoos, the line that I launched in Article 15 clothing. There's a few BRCC tattoos. There's, I think, about 10 Lead Slingers, at least the brand emblem tattoos. I don't know of any that are specific to me as an individual, which would be super creepy, other than probably about 4 girls I've been with.
There's no I operate tattoos?
I don't know.
Gotcha.
Or you've had guys copy like portions of your tattoos and make T-shirts out of them. Yeah.
What?
That's cold-blooded, man. That's cold.
Somebody took your tattoos and made it a shirt?
I made it a shirt first. I have Forever Free.
What's
in my back.
Matt? What's the heaviest tattoo?
What's heavy
that
mean?
any of your friends have? Like for me, it would be Logan's chest piece.
That's brutal.
Yeah,
that's brutal.
Big wolf.
That's a big. That's a lot of black ink, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
I don't know. I don't want to sound like a pussy, but like my back, because there's so much square footage, I sat probably once a week for 10-hour sessions, and then 10-hour sessions, 10-hour sessions just to get it done. And by the end of that, when I was getting my lower back and kind of love handles, a little extra fat there, whew, that was rough, man. To the point where I was like, why the fuck am I doing this?
I have
and
5 tattoos, and they're all based there. I won't get one that takes more than a fucking hour. Every tattoo I have. Oh, yeah. So right here.
Spoken like a true redneck.
So on my left quad, I've got the first 2 paragraphs of Rudyard Kipling Zip. Those took an hour each. That was 30 minutes. I love New York inside that bicep. I love Mom inside that, and that was 20 minutes.
Huh.
I'm not going to be a hater here, but that's one pet peeve of mine is like when people are like, how many tattoos do you have? I'm like, I don't know, like 40% of my body's covered. And then when they try to say like, oh my God, the wrist doesn't hurt. And you're like, it's a 3-minute tattoo. You can endure anything.
Yeah.
Like sit 9 hours on the worst spot in your body. And then you can fucking say that shit hurt or didn't
I feel
hurt.
like the 4-hour mark is when it really starts to become real at that point.
I think hour first is the worst. Endorphins kick in.
Yeah.
You get about 3 to 4 hours out of that, and then you have that depletion.
Well, outlining's the worst for me. Well, when they get to shading and they get like the 6 and 9, man, I can sit there all day and let them go with that. Yeah, outline's bad.
We have Will from Black Salt Tattoo in Salt Lake City coming out to Texas. He's going to help paint him a memorial piece in my gym, and then he's going to tattoo all of us.
Oh, that's so
no
good.
shit. When's Will coming out?
End of August. So we should have a thing. What should I get tattooed? I'll get a silly tattoo on me. I got so much room. Fuck it.
Forrest Whitaker winning the Oscar. No,
that wasn't a question for you, Rob.
Okay, cool. I want to see how Will shades that eye because he's got that one lazy eye.
Oh, come on!
Stop. It's in 17% of Chinese people have that kind of eye.
So
has anybody got a Gene Vandenham tattoo?
Not to my knowledge, I don't think.
We should make that happen. Someone should get a Gene Vandenham tattoo. I'll pay for it.
Jared doesn't have any tattoos.
He told me the other day. By the way, I don't give a fuck. Jared missed this podcast to go to spin class.
Yeah.
That's where we're at in life.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, man, spin class is super expensive and I have to pay if I don't go. Like, can Baker just jump on so I don't miss it? I was like, I guess.
But you know that's not why, right?
Yes, 100%. That's exactly what I said.
The girl that he's seeing is going to spin class with him.
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with him.
So we're over here
fucking-
working, kind of, and he's balls deep
No, I mean,
in
I was
koala.
I was holding out hope because like you were like, oh man, good for him. Like,
did
maybe
you just say
feel good.
Moana?
Well,
Koala,
anything.
he calls her, I guess.
Anything.
Oh, I thought you said Moana.
I don't know her real name.
Moana.
Anything that gets Jim.
Yeah.
Anything that gets Jim into the what's his name? No. Anything that gets JT into the gym, like.
Have
Man,
you ever
go
done a
for
spin
it.
class?
Go
Evan?
for it. Yeah. I've done them with my wife, man. Like
They're not
can't-
enjoyable,
Matt?
really.
I've been in a couple spin classes, and it's always like the first part, like, this is fucking lame. Okay, I'm gonna write a I'm gonna
Yeah.
write a bike. And then like 10 minutes in,
They're
it's
not
like
nice.
the fucking girl drinking Starbucks up front with her fucking phone
yelling
out. She's
at
like,
you.
Yeah. And I'm in the back like, what the fuck? My legs are on fire.
And you're looking at the skinny housewives like that are just like crushing it. You're like, you motherfucker, I'll
fuck
beat
you,
all your
man.
asses. You might fuck me up on this bike, but I'll get you.
hot yoga is the one that really trashes
Fuck that
me.
shit, man.
Like that's the one
It's
where
just kind of gross to me.
Dude, it's
a bunch
legit.
Of people out there just
sanitize that shit
wetting
after.
all over.
Edwin
the place.
or one of our coffee guys and I will go to hot yoga every now and again, and because I mean we're into weird shit like that. I guess like we go to this place called Banya in Seattle, which is like an ice plunge. A sauna that's like 400 degrees.
Like a Turkish bathhouse.
It's fucking awesome, is what it is.
Like a Turkish bathhouse.
Well, it's a Russian.
I like that type of shit, man. I'm into that type of shit.
It like jumping into a 45-degree pool, and then we'll sit there and try to compete as to how long we can go in this 45-degree pool. So we'll be sitting there for like 10 minutes, then we'll plunge our heads down underneath, and it's epic. So we're just kind of and he's run like so many of these ultra marathons, so he's a pain threshold guy that's really fucking into that. Whereas, like, I'm not a big pain threshold guy. Like, I don't care.
Like to
but
sit on the
That's a
couch
nice
and
way
watch
of saying
The
Edwin's
Office from
an
time to
odd duck.
time kind of guy. You know,
he's a good odd.
Absolutely.
He's a great odd.
An impressive
actually.
odd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's been my play lately, is because the home gym's about 80% done at my house, and like I'm refusing to finish all the air conditioning, so my office is like 69 degrees, and it's about 80. And Noelle will like kind of not complain about it. She's like, it's hot in here. I'm like, oh shucks, better take off your clothes. So it's like hot yoga in there. And then he's working out and like nothing. I'm like, this is awesome.
I've been working in between my house and my garage, and when it's like 100 degrees outside, and I realized like I was sweating, like just sweat was running down. It's like 110 outside, and like
shit.
typing on my
I
laptop.
prefer it.
And Mary Beth comes over. She's like, do you want to like go inside to work? Or I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably go inside, I guess. Yeah, I'm just like covered, drenched in water.
I'm a sweater in general. So anytime it's over like 74, I feel like I start perspiring.
Yeah, I don't like my
I've always been
thermostat
that
above
way.
70 in the house at all.
Yeah, no,
No
not
way.
at all. No, my kids are the same way, man. And so our house, especially at night, we'll like crank it down to like 69.
I'm 69 all day, and that's not a joke. That's like when I moved to Texas, and I'm sure you guys heard the AC guys like, hell, you ain't ever gonna have that thing under 75. And I'm like, what fucking planet do you live on?
No.
I want.
We
be
believe
sweating
in
my ass
freedom
off.
here,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, and then I want to walk into my house and be like, oh, I need to put a sweatshirt
Yeah.
on. That's just my jam.
Yeah.
Plus, it's like if you're cuddling with your woman or whatever, they're hot, you're hot, and like,
If you're cold, you can do something about it. You can get a blanket, you can put a hoodie on or something. If you're hot, you're hot. Period.
You're hot.
And I don't pay the bills at the house. I don't work all day to come home and be uncomfortable.
environmentally speaking, though, because like when I went to Ranger School, I was so thankful I went during the summer because I was like, I don't have to worry about being cold. Like,
yeah, that's probably-
let's just go in the summer. And then I used to try to make people be heat cats when I was in charge of the formation. I would just run as fast as I can because like I hope one passes out because then I get an hour in the fucking shade laying down. Like, should have drank more water, bitch.
You sounds like a great friend. A great
Fuck that for fucking. It's a leadership school. Drink water, bitch.
Yeah.
Should we ask Ross the question me and you were talking about earlier, Matt? The scammer pages and stuff.
Oh, shit.
Ross, do you have a lot of women that contact your wife saying that you're cheating on her and that you're marrying them and all that stuff, like fake accounts?
No, luckily, and I'm thankful for this because it's weird. Even though all the stuff we do is all over social media, she's not a very social media savvy person. So I think her Instagram, she's probably posted maybe a month or two ago. She doesn't get into that, thankfully. But I've gotten it from people about one about Matt. I've gotten it from Matt before. And then Jared a lot I get in emails, email wise.
Wow.
The most bizarre thing in all of this, and please speak to this, is like, I think there's about 3 or 5 instances now where people have got violent with me and my wife, where normally I get them about three times a day. Someone will reach out and they'll say, hey, I Google imaged you, and they figure it out. They're rational individuals, and they're like, I found out you're married. This isn't you. Just like, I flagged it. Can you flag it too? Roger that. Done. But then right now this is happening to me. There's someone that's like accosting my wife, saying like, you lying bitch, you're dead, you're faking to be this woman. My whoever, if it's like her stepmom or someone, is dating Matt, and like to the point where we've sent like a photo, and we're like, do I need to send a video to say like, listen, like for the well-being of your family, this is not a real relationship. But they refuse to accept that, and they're getting violent, calling us scammers and pieces of shit. And I'm like, I don't want anything from you. The guy in Nicaragua or Nigeria trying to get $2,000 from you is not me, man.
This is the scary thing for me. And you know, at first it was like, you know, when it very first happened, I was like, oh my God, somehow I'm going to get in trouble over this, right?
Right.
And then as it started happening more, I almost got to a point where I just didn't care anymore. It's like, I'm sorry that, you know,
because you block one and then one pops up and you're like, what do
I
don't have the answer.
But the thing that bothers me is you have adults that are out there in society. A lot of them have kids, and all this other stuff. And Alyssa has just started like she disappeared somewhere. Anyway, Alyssa has just started getting into social media a little more. And I warned her when she did that. I said, look, the second you start doing this and people figuring out who you are, they're going to start contacting you. And people will contact her and say, you know, your husband's a piece of garbage. We're getting married tomorrow. and my thought process is, one, who agrees to marry someone you've never even physically met? Because I know that I'm not marrying the 72-year-old robust grandmother of 3. I know that I'm not doing that. So you have never physically met this person that you have fallen in love with, and now you're going to marry. I mean, that's scary.
I think it's more of a perspective of like wishful thinking. Like, I can't imagine if I was like a 7-year-old dude and this like, you know, 25-year-old person I deemed attractive is like super accepting of my like romantic approach and all these other things. Like, maybe they fall victim to that because they're so lonely in their situation in life. It's like super unfortunate. But then you also be like, shake them like, are you a fucking idiot?
I would say that it's safe to say that you are a famous person, Matt. Like you know, you're a famous person. But yet, if Carrie Underwood just all of a sudden started telling you how much she loves you and she wants to run off and get married.
Stolen valor.
As a rational person, you would probably have some questions. I mean, there's no excuse anymore. There is no excuse for getting catfished in 2000, soon to be 2018.
That's what I say. And I don't understand. I don't understand the TV show. Like, how the fuck is that TV show still going with all of the technology we have today?
But you're looking at it from a lens where you understand social media, you understand the dynamics. I think these people have never been on social media. They created a Facebook account, and then all of a sudden they're getting contacted. Like, the people that are doing this are very calculated in their efforts. They go after a said demographic, which is usually 45-plus females that are like
not very attractive,
stay at home, and then usually in my circumstances, it's the children that catch wind of this relationship. And then I have like a 16-year-old writing me, and they're like, hey, please respond to this because my mom thinks she's dating you. And they know. They call bullshit,
scary,
but they're yelling at the kids, and you're like, fuck.
But
dude,
that's what I'm saying. These people have kids. Like these are the people that are supposed to be raising kids that are so easily taken advantage of and think that they're fixing to run up.
Yeah.
I had a woman finally get in contact with me, and for some reason it was just one of the emails I opened, and this is how intense it got. The person claiming to be me was claiming to be me in the actual city and state that I lived in. So this girl spent all of her money to take a bus to Anderson, South Carolina, where I used to live. And she figured it out, obviously, that nobody was showing up, and got in touch with the real me, and then expected me to help her get back home. Because it was my image, and so that's like the moral dilemma there.
Do we a Greyhound?
Do we have some kind of like moral
That's our first problem. Who the fuck
obligation
takes a Greyhound in
Well,
2000?
Theo Vaughn's got
I don't
theories
know
about
what
Greyhound.
I don't know what she took. All I know is the email read, I just spent every last dime I had to get to Anderson, South Carolina, and you were supposed to meet me here. And so, I mean, that's really where I lived. I mean, I really lived in that area. So what if how'd she ask
you to pay her back?
She said she asked nicely at first.
She was probably just trying to hook you.
Maybe. I mean, but that's the thing. But what if it was real? And what if by happenstance I just happened to like cross paths with this person that thinks
gives me anxiety.
That it does, right? Like I mean it's this weird situation all the way around. Who gets on a bus to go to a state that you have no money to get back to meet?
It's a hard thing because you want to criticize it, but you feel almost sad about it. Yeah, Jared's on a fucking bicycle going nowhere. He's chasing that pussy, and the fucking bike ain't even moving. He's got the donut in front of him, just like, I'm gonna go to spin class. Oh my God. I just hope he gets fit. We don't want to see Jared die. We love Jared.
We do. By the way, to put a button on this, Graham, the people that have hit me up are asking me why my friends are shitty friends. So Jared and Matt, like, I don't understand. They're married or pretending to be married, and they're like, you better fucking talk to him because so and so is dating them. And I'm like, man, you guys that is not the right person. But they've gone through like friends. So like they'll go through social media friends and all that other shit. And it's scary when I'm just like, all right, I'll send one message to them and be like, hey, we're good, but no more than that. I'm done with it.
But people in general are just psycho. Like I got back from a hunting trip in Africa 2 years ago, and Logan was on that trip with me, and one of the people on the trip shot a giraffe. I wasn't even in the fucking photo. I wasn't in the photo. Somehow, some animal rights psychopath found out that I was on that hunting trip, then found out who Kelsey was, and created a fake LinkedIn profile for Kelsey, who works in corporate America, and sent out like 500 invitations with like animal porn shit.
Weird.
Yeah. People are just People are batshit crazy, and the internet makes them more crazy.
Okay, I got a question for you guys. Talking about stuff, and so I'm asking this question with whatever you guys think. I want you to tell me. So, do you think that this is weird, or maybe crossing the line? So, this is the first time it's ever happened. So all three of my kids are in school now. And so this is the very first time. I won't say names or anything just in case somebody's listening, but basically my son has made a friend at school, his new school. And the other day my son comes home because his friend has a message from his mama for the son to tell my son to tell me.
What's
Okay.
the message?
What's the message?
Well, the message was just basically like, I love you so much, da 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 da. You're amazing. I've been following everything you've done for a long time. I mean, it was a nice message. It wasn't like a I hope you die kind of thing. But is that weird?
It's a little weird to
How
like
old's the
elicit
kid?
children to your messaging.
7.
All right, so the kid
yeah.
there could have been something lost in translation with the 7-year-old, like understanding words she was using. I thought you were going to go a different route on that.
I did too.
No. This is why it wasn't a threatening thing. It's just to me that's the very first time that anybody has tried to like send a message through my kid for me kind of thing, and I don't know why. It just kind of irked me
that
a
they're
little.
vulnerable. in
Yeah.
some
I mean,
capacity.
that's my kid, and we've really had to start talking to my kids because people see me like I'm sure they do you all the time. They know who we are. So my kids naturally think that I know who these people are too.
Right.
And so, it just opens up a whole can of worms. Like, no, just because people know who daddy is doesn't mean that daddy knows who they are. You can't talk to those people. Yeah, I don't know. I was just curious.
I mean,
Oh shit! I just got a text from First World Problems. It's for you. It's for you, Graham. Yeah. Whoa.
You just don't think about that stuff when you start.
I
doing
can't
this.
imagine. I'm thankful at this realm in my life I don't have children because it's like what you are exterior facing in your brands and your personality. It like people think it's 100% real and it comes back to you. It's easy to own it as an individual. It's semi-complex having a partner in life, like a wife that's comfortable enough to filter out the bullshit and the lies.
Right.
And then I can't imagine with someone being like having a child where what they see they think is real at that age. So it's like I wouldn't know how to navigate that.
People always attack me through my kids. Like, and
Really?
honestly, it's my daughter that gets it the most. Like, the threatening messages I get because I talk about like things that are in the moment, like politically charged. People are really emotional about it, and so it is always all the time. Anna Grace, my daughter, will be the one that gets it. Like, I hope your daughter gets sodomized. I hope
I've gotten that as well, dude. I've gotten that as well, man.
Oh, yeah.
And it's super fucked up.
Yeah.
The worst one I got was from a guy in Pennsylvania who said, and who had just dug through the ends of the earth of my social media and found a picture of my child and said, I'm going to make your fucking 3-year-old boy my dog's sex slave.
I would respond, I'm going to make my pistol your fucking lollipop, you little bitch, and I'm going to blow your fucking brains out and paint my new fucking living room with
Let me give you a piece of advice on that. So, Ross and I spend a lot of time on Twitter. Ross is very familiar with the platform.
Yeah.
Graham, you're on Twitter as well. Twitter is the place where people can say whatever the fuck they want.
yeah.
It's the worst. It's purgatory. That's what I call it. It's just hell
because,
on earth.
And it sucks because I was just looking at your Twitter feed before we got on, and it is so bad now, especially if you're taking a position on an issue or just giving an opinion on it or whatever.
Any issue, by the way. Any issue, Baker.
Right. So we put out the video with Crispy the other day,
Right.
and the NRA retweeted it. And I was like, oh, shit, that's pretty damn cool, man. It's a big platform pushing a really strong message. I clicked on that thing and looked at the comments.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, did anyone watch the fucking video?
No,
like,
they don't.
What the fuck are you people talking about?
They don't watch
So
the
here's
video.
a piece of advice for anyone listening. Don't ever block anybody on Twitter.
Really?
No, because here's why. When you block them, they know that they're blocked. What you do is you hit the mute button so you never see shit that they say.
Right.
And they don't know that they're blocked. Because a lot of them, like, they have in their bios now on Twitter, blocked by Trump, blocked by so-and-so, blocked by Ted Cruz.
Make them famous for
Okay.
that.
Like a badge of honor.
So it's funny because I that kind of dawned on me like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I'm a genius. And I was like, God damn it! So I had to go through the BRC Twitter unblock every fucking person I've ever blocked.
Twitter's
through
a whole
through the
different
Starbucks
animal,
fallout, and then just muted them.
Yeah, it's rough.
I felt
Great.
accomplished that day.
That is an accomplishment.
I didn't know that. That's actually a
take
really good trick.
It is. It is. And like, and one thing I wanted to ask Graham. So when you put something out on Twitter, how can you engage with your consumers, because you have to read through all the fucking rhetoric. So if you get 100 comments, 75 of them are like, you motherfucker, like you fucking hate kids. It's like, how do you cipher through all that bullshit
Well,
to find the meaningful conversation to be had?
I've found that the people that actually want to have meaningful conversations, I'll get emails and things because I have everything set up to where, there are other avenues.
Right.
I mean, obviously if there's freaking, I don't know, 30,000 comments on something. You can't is
Right.
the answer to that. You can't sort through it. The people that actually have some, because I take criticism. I realize that I am not the de facto know-all, my way is the only way person.
No one
right?
is.
Yeah, and so I take criticism. If you don't agree with me, that's perfectly fine. Because I'm not going to agree. I'm sure there's things that me and Matt don't fundamentally agree on everything. If you look hard enough,
Height, we definitely disagree in height.
disagree in height.
But y'all motherfuckers love some bench press.
Yeah. Look, if you look hard enough at anyone, at the total package of who someone is, you're going to find something that you fundamentally disagree on in some ways. But that doesn't mean that they're horrible people and that you can't coexist in the same spectrum. But in this day and age, we have emotionally imbalanced babies that just can't. If you disagree with them on something, then you're evil. You're the problem.
They immediately
that.
turn it to violence, and that's just emotional intelligence thing. And I think that's why you find people in life where you can have disagreements. I actually think disagreements are hyper productive because if you have a single lens on something, then you only know it so well. It's like why I believe that Evan and I are fucking some of the best business partners, because like we disagree probably on a daily thing, not like on big stuff, but like I like that, I don't like that. And not like, fuck you, I'm right, dude. It's like, well, why not? Gives me his point, gives me my... And then you work through things, and then the sum of the parts is greater. It's like, okay, wow, we actually made a better product by disagreeing. I think relationships are the same way. Like, if I had my relationship the exact way I wanted it, I don't know if that would be great. But like when you have both people that disagree and find a better solution to come together, that's what teamwork is. But the internet doesn't do that. They go, I disagree with you, fuck you, you're a piece of shit.
The one guy that, and I think you should seek this guy out, the one person... So I'm from the South, very conservative, right-minded leaning, very set in certain things and the way things should be done. But I'll listen to anyone's point of view.
Right.
The hard part is finding someone on the other side of the aisle that you can have a conversation with. There's a guy by the name of Brian Dean Wright. Evan went to high school with him.
Yeah.
They both worked for the government together. Check him out, and we'll talk after the show. But it's hard to find someone, and everything's so polarizing now, you can't have a conversation. Even if you find someone to communicate with on the other side of the aisle, like there's all these random fucking people hopping in like, I'll fuck you up, man. You come to California and I'll beat your ass. It's like, what?
That's telephone tough guy shit.
Oh,
yeah.
That's all telephone tough guy.
I will say I've never had somebody come up to me in person yet, knock on wood.
Me too.
That has like just straight up, hey man, I hate everything you say, and I'm fixing to make you pay for it, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Well, actually, there's been once. It was overseas. It was this dude from me. I'm going on my own little tangent here, but it was Nick from Ranger Up and me. The guy walks up, and we're all taking photos together and stuff. And the guy steps in the middle, and he looks and he goes, I fucking hate you. I don't want a picture with you. And I was like, hey, fair enough, man. I stepped aside. I'm like, I ain't going to try to defend myself. And I was like, no worries, man. Hate away, bro. I don't give a fuck.
I think I had Greg Locke on the show the other day, and he said something that I thought was really relevant. He said, we've lost the ability to understand the difference between agreeing and acceptance, right? So,
yeah, that's fair.
I accept your premise, right? I accept it. I accept you believe that, you think that. Doesn't mean that I have to agree with you, and we've lost the ability to understand that that's kind of how things are. I accept that people have different viewpoints than me. I accept that people believe that Donald Trump is Hitler. I accept that people think that Hillary Clinton would have made a fantastic president. It doesn't mean that I agree with that. I
didn't mean to go there, but I'm serious.
Yeah, I accept that. I accept that premise. But it doesn't mean that I have to agree with you. That I think that that's the way that it should be.
Well, yeah, and a lot of us are a product of our environment. So, like, you see things under a specific, you've lived those things. Like, why I'm so comfortable with firearms. I started shooting when I was like 3 years old, so I understand them, which is like. My premise is like, how do I educate people that have never had experience with firearms to realize that they're not these fucking crazy tools of death. They're actually tools that have functioned in my life as life-saving and benefit to my family as far as harvesting meat and shit. So yeah, it's having the ability to be uncomfortable, and people hate to be uncomfortable. But if you allow yourself to be in an uncomfortable situation, you'll actually come out of it far more knowledgeable and far more educated. But people refuse to do that. They refuse. The second they feel uncomfortable, fuck everybody, and then they're out, and you're like, well, that was super.
Yeah, Matt, I get that all the time on the hunting side. Like people are like, they'll just say all this crazy shit. And it's like, listen, man, I know that you think that like we go out in the woods and we shoot a deer and then we take our fucking pants off and cover our crotch in blood. That's not what happens, you know. And it's like
I do that every time.
There's
I
some
kiss
crazy
the animal like I'm in Avatar, and I say thank you,
and then for its sacrifice.
Fucking put my eyeliner on
You're
with
doing
blood.
that this fall.
I'll do anything. I took a really fucked up
I'll
photo of
do
a deer
anything.
once, and I can
I
never.
want that sound you just made for your ringtone.
I'm happy I never published it. I killed these 2 baby hogs, which I did eat, and I had this like war face with blood on me, and I was holding up by each arm. It's like when I was, I don't know,
It's a pig.
19.
Fuck a pig.
Right.
It's a pig. Fuck the pig. But I was like, now that would be so used against me if that public. I should just release the photo.
We shot those.
Yeah,
bastards
put
on
it
a
out there.
helicopter, though, didn't we?
Yeah.
Hey, Graham Allen,
Yes.
real quick, I got a question for you because you were talking about politics. Has anybody ever asked you to speak for them in like the upcoming like 2018 midterm elections?
There's been some talk, not about the midterm elections, but like CPAC and things that are coming out, you know, they do it. So yes, we're finally starting to get these things. You know, I maybe could be emceeing some political events that are coming up in the future and things. Maybe, you know, we'll see. But yes, some people finally are starting to ask.
That's awesome.
That's never been requested from me. They're like, hey, so Matt, make sure Matt's not in this speech because he's going to fuck it all up. But Evan's welcome. He's the smart one.
I think most people don't really want me to speak in those events because
I like to hear what you have to say.
I'm pretty brutal on.
I like it.
I'm brutal on both sides, so it doesn't matter. I'm not a guy that's going to go, hey, I'm lockstep with the right. I'm not lockstep with the left. I'm going to go with what I feel is the most rational.
Well, you have the ability to come over the top and shut them down. Like that interview, that woman said, so who do you view as your competition? You went, no one. Tell me another CEO that's walked through the streets of Baghdad at 3 a.m. with a saw, and I'll show you my competition. And like, it got real silent, and Matt had this little kind of funny look on his face.
Well, I was like, hey, I at the time was a CEO Article 15. I've carried a saw at 3 in the morning, so I was like, what's up, Evan? What's up, bro? Let's go fisticuffs.
No, but like that person that asked you that question, they just kind of went. They shut him down, man.
Yeah.
Well, and there are plenty of guys out there that have done that in the coffee space, you know, and I was directly referring to larger scale companies, right? And I think politics is one of those things. You're never going to get a true engaging discourse in Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. You're not going to get real engagement. What you're going to get is one person's opinion, and they're going to stick to it, and they're going to try and do everything they can to make you look like an idiot. That's what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. My spare time, when I was like just not doing customer service tickets and a few other things, and I did this not too long ago, probably, I guess, less than a year ago. I would stay up and just fucking troll people as Evan Hafer, just fucking shredding them, like college professors, because they would chime in on some article with Black Rifle Coffee, and they were talking about how we were like, because they always go to this. This is the only thing they can do. You guys are racist. You guys are Nazis. And it's like, no, I'm conservative. I'm neither one of those things. Actually, guys like me and Matt and everybody in my company, we're the guys that would have landed on the beaches of Normandy to fight the fucking Nazis. Yeah. Guys like you would have been the people at home banging our fucking wives.
Yeah.
And those are the things that when we get into,
I wouldn't even give them that much alpha. It would be like our wives pegging them. That's how beta they are.
And so, but they automatically default to this conversation where they're going to call you something that is a direct reference to a person in history like Hitler that is so far off the fucking mark.
Right.
But there is no logical discourse at that point. You've lost any ability to have a conversation with somebody.
Right.
Because they're automatically going to go, you're a fascist. I'm not a fascist, actually. I'm very much an individual and states' rights person, down to quite literally the point of I am a very strict definition of a libertarian.
Right.
A very strict definition of it. But because this was the better of the two options, right? Where they're like, hey, we're in a rock and a hard place. This is a really good position for the Conservative Party because obviously they won, but I wasn't going to vote for fucking Hillary. I'll tell you that right now.
Right.
Like not a fucking chance in hell.
Right.
Not a snowball.
Under
chance
no,
in hell.
I can think
Right.
under no circumstances.
Zero circumstances.
And that
it's kind
was-
of like
yeah.
asking you, it's the difference between do you want to get punched in the face or do you want to take a shot of whiskey? I'm going to take a fucking shot of the whiskey.
Right. Right. Well, and that's the biggest conversation.
Wait, are we taking shots of whiskey?
Are we?
could.
I'd take one.
Sorry,
Let's go.
I
Let's do it. Let's do a long one.
I got excited.
And I think that's the difference is, I'm not a dyed-in-the-wool Trump supporter, but I
Right.
don't dislike him.
Yeah.
Do I think there are things that he could be doing differently and more effectively? Yeah, absolutely. But that's every person that's ever held that fucking seat.
Because it's a person.
It's
and
the
a person's
it's
not
a
going to be able to
person.
pull off everything that
No.
all 350 million whatever that we have in
You
America.
can't make everybody happy.
Yeah, you're never going to be able to do that. So, like you said, I think Donald Trump was the best option? No, not necessarily, but I for sure was not going to vote for Hillary. And so, if you have a problem with the options, then you have to ask yourself, well, why were they the only two options? And so,
That's the real question.
Yeah.
The real question is why are these the only options and why are not more people asking that question?
Yeah.
That's the fucking, if you're so dissatisfied with the options, why are you not doing something?
Because
to
that's
create better
challenging and
options?
it's hard.
Yeah.
It's easy to point a finger and say you suck, but it's hard. It's just like how we always talk about in the company and stuff. It's like solution-based action rather than just ranting and hot air. It's like you can sit and bitch about someone all day, but unless you come to a terms of how do I effectively change what I'm bitching about, then nothing matters.
No.
It's just fucking hot air,
But
and it doesn't mean shit.
I think this is the new norm, and I'll tell you why. Because I, honest to God, think you would have to be a fucking crazy person to run for president. You would have to be a crazy person.
Well, Evan and I are running in 2024.
2024.
I stand on my statement.
Me and Alyssa had this kind of conversation because somebody made some kind of comment. They're like, hey, and, in 10 years from now, maybe you could be governor or something like that. And I just kind of looked over at Alyssa and I was like, who knows? Maybe, I'm not going to say what could happen or whatnot. And Alyssa looked straight at me and said, you have lost your mind.
Yeah.
If you think that I'm going to let you subject our family to that kind of thing. It was initial gut reaction, right? She's my wife. She's protective of me, of the kids, but she's right. I mean, to put yourself, and that's just governor, much less the president, to put yourself in that arena, if you will. I mean, nothing is off the table for people to attack, go after, and mean it. Not just like keyboard talking, like they mean it. They will go after your family.
And they can say anything they want. They can say anything they want.
Yeah.
Like that's the blatant reality that we live in is that people can say anything they want on the fucking internet.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to
without
be true.
consequence.
Yeah,
too.
without
Zero
consequence. I'm going to shoot you in the face on the internet. If you say that to somebody face to face,
Well, it's like the
you can do
comment
something
about
that.
like Ross's kid and yours, or like if someone came up to you in a fucking mall, Ross, and was like, "I'm gonna sodomize your child," like that's a overhand right to the face.
I'd
and you're
kill
calling
him.
the cops.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Like
yeah.
now you die, bitch. But they have this protection of this median that they think that there's no consequence, and people have like lost their fucking minds on that edge, and that's what really grinds my gears is when people feel that they can say shit without consequence. Like I enjoy the people that say shit they mean, for better or worse. Like I value people that go, I just don't like you, Matt, or I completely disagree with you, but they have the fucking cojones to say it to my face. I'm like, awesome, I disagree with you, cool.
Yeah.
Like that's man shit, not fucking.
But that's different than saying, Matt, I don't agree with what you're saying and I don't like you. But I don't necessarily think that you're a piece of garbage person that doesn't deserve to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like
for sure,
taking it to those points. I agree with you. I respect somebody like that. You know what, Graham? In fact, I've had people say that. I don't agree with 99% of the crap you say. However, I think that you're a real dude. So I respect you as a guy, as a person.
Well,
that
I think
regard.
like you could bring up the gun restriction in gun laws in that same stance. I don't think that people that are anti-gun aren't coming from a somewhat empathetic position.
Yeah.
They're thinking, how do I stay alive? They're just completely on the wrong course,
Yeah.
and they don't understand the subject. So I don't think that they're a bad person, but then it's ultimately up to me and my stats to educate them so they hopefully change their stance and become more of a supporter.
I don't think they're actively saying, what can I do to ruin
there's some
America?
of them out there that are just fucking
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. But
I think what scares me right now with politics in America, and I think with the demographic shift and the younger voter as they continue to get a little bit older into the voting age, is that socialism, or what are they calling it now? Democratic socialist?
Democratic socialist.
Democratic socialist.
Those are conflicting statements.
But that's on the rise to the point where we are going to see the Socialist Party have not a comeback, but it will be a giant surge within the United States within our lifetime. The way that this country is run will be completely different in two more executive election cycles. We are going to see something that is, we're going to look at this country and say, where the fuck has my country gone?
Yeah.
#
And
why I have guns and lots of ammo.
And that socialist mindset, and I see it everywhere. We see it in social media. We see people being more accepting to this idea of socialism. They have no context of history. In all reality, we don't either, because we weren't there. We weren't in the Cold War. We don't quite understand it. But at least we've read enough about it, and we have a context to history to know, like, hey, this isn't something we want, everybody.
Right.
And I think that's one of the scariest things about America right now, that as I'm looking forward into the next 2 decades, when my kids grow up in the United States, socialism is going to be acceptable. That's fucking crazy to me.
Yeah.
It fucking scares the living shit out of me, because that becomes a fascist state. And democracy and individual rights and states' rights, those dissolve within the fucking black pond of socialism.
Yeah.
We are
Socialism's never worked.
It's never worked.
Never.
It never will.
Yep.
The fucking president of Venezuela just said it didn't work, and he made a mistake.
Right.
I mean, what else do you need?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But and what else do you need within history? I guess that's the thing that I don't quite understand, is like, how do we not just look back the last 200 years of the country's experimentation, or different countries internationally, their experimentation with socialism and democracy, and say, wow, one seems to work much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is if you look right now, if you look at, and I'm not saying who is responsible, I'm not giving anyone credit for this. Some of it had to do with Obama, some of it has to do with the current administration. Unemployment's at an all-time low. Unemployment in African American, Hispanic is an all-time low. Food stamps, all-time low. Stock market, all-time high. There's a fuck ton of stuff going right in this country, and I don't understand, unless it's just being driven by sheer blind hate. I don't understand how someone could say, you know what, this is all wrong. This is not what we want. We want socialism.
Well, I truly think this is racism. I really do. I think this is racism towards and bigotry towards any white male that is in any form of authority. I think this is a blind rejection of any Caucasian male.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Of truth.
So regardless of the person, and regardless of the person, they will not be satisfied until they have a female in office, regardless of their background, their resume, their qualifications, or intelligence. That is the only thing that will satisfy a huge percentage of the voting population. So it's not based on qualifications. It's literally, as you know, people like to say, it's literally, I want my team to win so badly
that they're willing to.
I would rather somebody fail, and that affects all of us.
All of us,
and win, to be able to say I'm right. And this is social media. This is like, I can fucking have a Twitter block and a comment to say, fuck you, I was right.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, Evan, to your point, Bill Maher has been openly championing on his show for the economy to tank. He claims if the economy can tank, that is the surefire way to get Trump out of office in 2020.
Yeah, but that's a statement, and I'm not even a political dude, but it's just like, so you want the president to fail that bad that all of America takes a huge fucking right hand to the face, and you're going to see poverty. You're going to see fucking famished families and all this fucking
Food
consequence.
stamps, welfare, drug
that's
addiction.
what you want, so you can say, we finally got Trump out of office. Like, what a fucking piece of shit,
But
dude.
here's the scary thing, or funny thing. Bill Maher and every fucking person that he knows personally, there is nothing that those people can do combined to tank the economy. Like, it's just not. It's like saying I'm going to be 7 feet tall tomorrow. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I think that it's insanity. And the meaning of words. So like the term racist, that gets thrown around a lot. That term has switched meaning to bigotry. Racism means you feel that one race is superior to another.
Right.
That's what that means. But now people are using these terms incorrectly, and they have no meaning. They've been used so much. The fire alarm has been pulled so many fucking times. They've cried wolf so many fucking times that eventually something big will happen or something bad does happen. No one's going to pay attention because the fire alarm's been pulled too many times. You know, like you cry wolf too much, like people just stop listening, you know? It's crazy to me.
Yeah, and by the way, Evan, back to your point about the socialism thing. There's a chick on the Democratic side who's supposed to be their rising star. Her name is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Oh yeah.
So she wins this district in New York, knocks out this guy who's been 7 terms, and they were like, oh my God, she's our next champion. She's 28 years old. They sent her out to 7 other states to campaign for candidates in these 7 other states, Michigan, Kansas, and a few other states. The primaries were last night. She was 0 for 7 on all the candidates she supported for this democratic socialist movement. So hopefully it's not moving as
mercy rule 0 for 7.
Yeah.
Hammered.
Hopefully it's not as prevalent as we think it's going to be in the future. But I agree with you. I think sometime in our lifetime, a big socialist will get voted into a higher form of office that's going to really fuck shit up for our kids.
I don't know why it's so hard just to like laugh and come and be nice to people. It's so simple in my mind.
Should just annex out the Southeastern Conference and just start our own.
And they truly have no idea if a socialist is voted into the executive chair of this country, the economy is fucked.
Yeah.
Like fucked.
Yeah.
We have such a fucking huge national debt. If a socialist is fucking voted into that economy, we will see poverty on a level in the United States. And if I can't imagine that it would ever happen. If it ever happened, the economy would hit an absolute all-time low, probably from the fucking
the
Great
closest
Depression.
thing we've had to a socialist, I would say,
It
is
would
probably
blow up.
Jimmy Carter. In the 1980, like interest rates were
It would blow up.
20%. You know, I mean, taxes were all, it's crazy. But no, it's the thought of that's insanity.
The thought of what the United States economic condition would be if there was a socialist voted into that seat is you can't even comprehend the amount of devastation that would cause. The fucking stock market, the bottom would fall.
Oh yeah.
Like it would fucking fall out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's the thing. You've got a bunch of people that are borderline might as well be children running around. Children have a lot of ideas. A lot of them are very, 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 very bad. Yeah. You know what would be awesome is if I stick this fork in this outlet. That would be a fantastic idea. And that's kind of where we're at now. Is people are so against truth of you may hate Trump fundamentally as a man, as a person, but what you cannot argue is what he is actually doing for the economy, for everything. And so someone said to me one time, and it's probably some famous quote, and they just took it for their own. But anyway, the only way you can argue truth is with emotion, because that's the only thing that you can do. Right. And so these people know that they can't argue the facts, so they're just becoming emotional and angry and violent, and they're going to do anything and everything they can to just, I don't know. I still don't think they're going to get Trump out next election.
He'll win 40 states.
I think he's going to be in. It's the next election that I'm worried about.
That's the one. I'll tell you, the one.
5 times in the history of this company, a sitting president has been voted out during re-election. Only 5 times. Probability dictates he'll absolutely be in re-elected.
Yeah, and there's odds up in Vegas right now. That's
Oh God, that's huge, huge.
Bet on that?
yeah, you can bet on
bet
dude.
on it.
One of our sponsors for Drinkin' Bro Sports, mybookie.com. You can bet on it. So I looked at the odds. Trump is the favorite. It's about 1.5 to 1. And then second is on the Democratic Party, Bernie Sanders is up there. And then
475.
yeah, he's second, and then number 1 is Kamala Harris. She's predicted to be the Democratic candidate for 2020.
Bring it
against
on,
Trump.
baby.
Yeah. Well, again, like I said, I think that the truth is what it is. Trump is doing a good job. Should he probably lay off Twitter from time to time? Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Forever.
the truth of the matter is he is doing the things that he said he would do, and he's going to get elected again. It's the next one. The next one
The
that we all have
president's
to
not
worry
supposed
about.
to be your moral compass.
Yeah.
You're looking to the president for guidance. You're doing it wrong.
You know, somebody said that the other day. Oh well, he's paid for hookers and all this other kind of stuff. To be honest, I don't care. I don't care if do I agree with having an affair on your wife? No. But do I think
He was
that
efficient in his sexual practices.
do I think that disqualifies you from being able to run the country?
Those are the
No.
same people that put JFK and Bill Clinton on a fucking pedestal, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
JFK
and
was a
still do.
Yeah.
And it's like those are the same guys.
Yeah, but that's the thing, man. It's like, what in the world does
But
that
judgment
have
of character
to
is
do?
subjective, so you can do that.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, and if
the
you
guy gets his head blown off and everything else he did is fucking amazing.
and if you look up Stormy Daniels on Pornhub and watch her giving head, just type in Stormy Daniels blowjob. I think Trump got off easy paying $150K. Like that's a lot. People would pay a lot more for that kind of head.
Is it a good blowjob?
Oh boy, she's really going after it. 2-hand basket weave.
She's been on pre-roll ads of my porn lately. It's like, hi, I'm Stormy
Yes.
Daniels, and I'm live feeding. I'm like,
Wow.
wow.
Well,
Feed me those ads. It's that
Well,
that conservative audience.
And her husband
her
just
ads.
filed for divorce last week.
her
so.
current tour though is called "Make America Come Again."
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's great.
Well, speaking
maybe
of
she's
coming,
doing it.
let's have the drinking bro come on because we are
Drinking bro.
We will.
make the
Drinking
Drinking
Bro of the
Bro
Week
come.
is submitted by Ryan Rhodes. Man, this one's a sad one, but look, you're able to send in whatever you want to Drinkin' Bros, and we will always be happy to read them. I'd like to nominate Johnny Quiles for Drinkin' Bro of the Week. Johnny is a police officer and fellow Drinkin' Bro from upstate New York who's had a rough year lately. About a year ago, he lost his wife to cancer, making him a single father to their 5 kids. More recently, he received a diagnosis of cancer himself and is scheduled to have surgery to have it removed. Shortly after his diagnosis, his brother also passed away, leaving behind a daughter who Johnny, has also now become responsible for. He's genuinely a great guy and has been there for me through hard times and when he didn't need to be, and he just needs a win right now with all the stuff that's been happening to him. I hope that being named Drinkin' Bro of the Week would at least make his day and give him that win he desperately needs. Fuck. Absolutely, Ryan Rhodes. Cheers, man.
Yeah, cheers,
Shit.
Johnny. Damn, brother.
That was hard to read, man. I apologize, Johnny
Hard
Quiles.
to listen to,
man.
What a man, though. I mean,
Yeah.
No shit,
man.
Well, listen.
Well, cheers, brother.
Yeah, cheers. Graham Allen, man, it's always a pleasure having you on. The audience loves you. You have an open seat anytime you want to come back.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Where can people find you?
So you can find me on Facebook, Graham Allen, or you could check out my new show, Rant Nation, on CRTV.com.
Awesome.
Or blackRifleCoffee.com. That's blackRifleCoffee.com.
PLA.
Hey, thanks for coming on again, Baker. We love you, buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys.
And
go find
Dave
my
isn't
wife.
fired yet. He's still here,
He's
guys.
still there. He's still there.
Still here.
For Evan Hafer, Matt Best, Graham Allen, Baker Leavitt, I'm Ross Patterson, Dave. I'm not even gonna say his fucking last name. Fuck you, Dave. Good night, everybody.
Yeah.